Hi, it's Miss House. In this video, I want to show you how to factor binomials when they are the sum or difference of cubes. I've written these two formulas here for you, and they can be complicated, but once you understand where A and B come from, it's really not that bad. I'm going to start with x cubed plus 8. Now this is a cube because x cubed can be written as x times x times x. That is, x is a, and that's what's being cubed. And 8 can be written 2 times 2 times 2. So b is 2 because 2 cubed is 8. That means b is 2. Now what you want to do is you want to always break it down into 3 identical factors, because that's how you know it's a cube. Now I'm going to take my A and my B, the x and the 2, and I'm going to start doing my factoring. So if you look at the first formula here, look at this formula up here, you take one of each, x plus 2, with the same sign as the problem. So the sign in this problem is a plus. That's why the sign in my binomial right here is a plus. Then I take what's left over, which will be x squared, and see that x and that x squared is going to give me x cubed. And then I take what's left over in the back, 2 times 2 is 2 squared, or 4. I'll put that in the back, and that's what's going to give me the 8. Now the problem is, I need a bunch of other stuff to cancel out so that when I'm done, I only have a cubed plus b cubed. So for that, I'm going to need a minus sign and one of each of these, x and 2 multiplied, which would be 2x. Now the signs go like this. Soap. Same sign. Same as the problem. Okay? Opposite sign. Opposite from the problem. Always positive. That's this last one. Always positive. Now let's multiply this out to show that this is actually going to work, that this minus 2x that's in the middle here is going to cause all those extra terms to cancel out so that we get back to x cubed plus 8. So to check this, I'm just going to multiply it. X plus 2 times x squared minus 2x plus 4. Now there's no full rule here because a full rule only works for a binomial times a binomial. So what I have to do is distribute the x to all 3 terms and then distribute the 2 to all 3 terms. So that's going to give me x times x squared, x cubed. X times negative 2x is negative 2x squared. X times 4 is 4x. Now I'm going to come back with the 2. Positive 2 times x squared is plus 2x squared. And I'm just going to line them up underneath here. Positive times a negative 2x is negative 4x. And then a positive 2 times a positive 4 is a plus 8. And you'll notice, because we put that minus 2x in there, that all that cancels to 0. And so I'm left with x cubed plus 8. And so if you put this opposite sign of whatever's in here, and each of those multiplied, it will cause everything to 0 out except for your x cubed plus 8. Now the good thing about this is that once you learn one pattern and you remember the SOAP rule, then the other pattern is almost identical, the only difference being the signs, and we use our SOAP rule. So let's say I have 27y cubed minus 125. Now I picked some bigger numbers this time, but you can play around, or if you know how to use the cube root function on your calculator, you can take the cube root of 27 and the cube root of 125. And what you're going to learn is it's 3y times 3y times 3y. That's going to be 3 times 3 is 9, times 3 is 27, y times y times y. And 5, 5, and 5. So that's my 125. Now notice this time there's a minus. So my A is 3y and my B is 5. So I take one of each with the same sign, which is a minus. So 3y minus 5. What's left over? 9y squared for the front. What's left over here? 5 squared is 25 for the back. Just two of the 5s. And then in the middle, you multiply 3y times 5, that's 15y. And we have to put the opposite sign. So we have to put a plus and then always positive. So our final answer is 3y minus 5. That's our binomial. And our trinomial is 9y squared plus 15y plus 25. And again, you can distribute this out, multiply the 3y times all, multiply the minus 5 times all. And because we put this opposite sign from the original, which was a minus, that's going to cause all the terms except for the 27y cubed and the 125 to reduce out to 0. Okay, so I'm going to do one more. And this time I want us to be really, really careful. Let's do 8,000 minus 216 m cubed. Well, the first thing you notice is that these numbers are really, really big. Okay? So I'm going to find the GCF of these numbers and try to reduce them down to something smaller. Now, the reason I know they have a common factor is these are both even numbers, so they're both divisible by 2. So I'm going to take out a 2. That's going to go in there 4,000 times. And then 216 divided by 2 is 108. Well, 4,000 and 108 are still even, so I'm going to take out a 2. That's going to be 2,000. And 108 divided by 2 is 54. Still even. 2 goes into that 1,000 times, and 2 into 54 is 27. So now that I have taken out as many common factors as I can, I know I'm finished here because 27 is 1, 3, 9, and 27. None of those except 1 will go into 1,000. So I know that this is my GCF out here. 2 times 2 times 2 is 8. So I need to bring an 8 out. And then I get 1,000 minus 27 m cubed. Okay? So I've taken out my greatest common factor. Notice how it's right here, and it needs to be in my final answer as well. But now that I have this down to smaller numbers, I can do my pattern. So I'm going to make sure that my 8 is in my final answer. And now I'm going to go over here and I'm going to break down 1,000 minus 27 m cubed. If you put that GCF down here in the answer, you don't have to worry about forgetting it. So 1,000 is 10 times 10 times 10. And 27 m cubed is 3m, 3m, 3m. That's my A, that's my B. So it's 10 minus 3m. Because I take a 1 of each with the same sign as the problem, which is a minus. Then for the front, that's A squared, 10 times 10, that's 100. For the back, 3m times 3m, 9m squared. And for the middle, a 10 times a 3 and an m is a 30m. Let me write that up here. It's 8, 10 minus 3m times 100 plus 30m plus 9m squared. So it's 8, which is the GCF, 1 of each, 10 and 3m with the same sign. What's left over? 10 times 10 is 100. What's left over? 9m squared. And then the 10 times the 3m is where I get this 30m for my middle. SOAP rules, same as the problem. Opposite, so stuff cancels out. Always positive on the end. Same, opposite, always positive. So that is the factoring the sum or difference of cubes.